Ohio. I have some family friends out there that work there, and they're going to give us a tour. They have a pretty cool site where there's a meat locker in the back, and then the chefs actually cut the slices, bring them up to the kitchen, cook them in the kitchen, and then they have a conference room in front, and it's all like you can see through every little step and watch it go through. So we're going to try to get a CAB tour there and then hopefully eat some of them. I'm still really trying to sucker punch my family friends to make that happen. And then on Thursday, that is our day where we spend the entire day at the Expo Center. It's right next to Lucas Oil Stadium. And so we will actually start the day in Lucas Oil Stadium because that is where they will do opening sessions. And so we'll sit through one opening session with the guest speaker. I don't know who it is this year. I have not looked at that. And then the kids get to go through the career fair, the college fair. I mean, it takes a full 6 to 8 hours to get through all that stuff. The kids this year, I always give them, FFA offers 3 entertainment specials. There's a hypnotist. I've never had a group want to go to see a hypnotist out there. A concert, and then there's different rodeos that the kids can go to. So the kids voted this year to go to the FFA rodeo. So we're going to try to go to the rodeo that night. And then on Friday, we're actually going to start heading back. The girls that are going, they just wanted to spend the whole time in Chicago. So I'm actually working on, in Chicago, there is a school, a high school, that is just ag related. So it's the Chicago School of Ag. Their entire platform is around teaching these kids skills to go into the ag field. And so it's a really cool tour to go see. Quinn Eastman is thinking about going into education. I'm really trying hard to get her to go ag ed, but I might lose her to elementary, and that's okay. So that'll be a really cool site for her. Rory wanted to go see Sears Tower while we were there, and then Shed Aquarium and Navy Pier as well. And then hopefully we get back at 10 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to remember when you're at Lucas Oil Field to tell the kids that a Bobcat was one of the lead architects for that facility. What class was he in, Sean?
Can't even guess.
Questions about the trip?
Sounds great. Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was kind of interesting to see where the kids wanted to go this year. They all had ideas. So.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the out-of-state field trip request to the National FFA Convention as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Wall Hernandez, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, have fun.
The purple Skittle. It was really good.
It paid off to present tonight.
Yeah, otherwise you'd have missed out on freeze-dried candy.
I would have missed out on it. That's so true.
You'd have come in tomorrow and you'd have heard about how great it was.
Yes. And I would have just felt bummed if
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it. My name is Jenny Allen. I'm the Curriculum and Professional Development Leader for College and Career Readiness, and I'm here today to talk to you about the teacher externship, which we do in the summer. And Amy, do you want to pull up that presentation for me? Oh, you can stay on that top page for just a second, please. Thank you. This picture is so cool. I don't want to miss it. So we did the teacher externship this summer. We did 3 different sessions of 2 days each. So we had 6 days for our teacher externships this summer. And teachers from our district and 8 surrounding districts could register to come to the teacher externship for 2 days at a time. So they would come for a 2-day session, and then they would earn a stipend for those 2 days. So this is one of the picture here is one of the days that we got to go to the top of the courthouse and actually stand behind the clock, which was really, really cool. We'd never been able to do that in an externship before, and it was just a really neat opportunity for the group. So I want to just tell you a little bit about the planning for the teacher externship. So we have a planning committee that plans for this. Dr. Schutte is part of that. Kate Browermaster from the chamber is part of that. Maria Morales is a big part of that. And then Angie Nelson from the Farm Bureau is part of that planning committee. And then I mentioned that we offer it to the 8 other districts in our RPP. So this year we had participation from BCLUW, East Marshall, GMG, Grinnell Newburgh, Iowa Falls, Montezuma, South Tama, and West Marshall. So we had teachers from all of those schools coming here to Marshalltown to learn a little bit more about our community and the jobs that are available for their students in our community. So I want to talk just a little bit about the first 2 days. So the first day was advanced manufacturing, and Maria started us off that day with our keynote. Then we all loaded a bus and we headed to Rinker Pipe, which is out on 18th Avenue. They do a lot of concrete casting, so that was a really neat experience. Then we went to Lenox for a tour, and then we went back to the Black Box Theater where we had lunch. Chris Hill from Iowa State Center for Industrial Research and Services was there to talk to us, and he talked about a lot of different things, changes in engineering, 3D casting, different things to make jobs easier. So that was a really interesting presentation. Then we loaded back up on the bus, went to Marshalltown Company, and ended the day at Emerson. So on these first 2 days, we had 30 teachers from six different districts. So these are just some pictures from that very first day. These are from Rinker Pipe, and you can see it's a really interactive experience for our teachers, and there's just a couple of quotes on here that are from the teachers from those first couple days. I really love the one that says, "I love getting to know our community." A lot of people in these tours are from Marshalltown or teach in Marshalltown, and they don't have any idea what some of these businesses do. So it's a great field trip for them to get to go on to learn about some of the different businesses. So this is at the Alliant Energy, and a couple of our whole group there in the top, and then one of our teachers there on the side. Again, this person said, although I've been a resident here for many years, I've never really known what these companies did. So the second day started out with Aaron Putzi from the Iowa Soybean Association talking to our group, kicking us off with a keynote. And then we went to JBS, and this is a really exciting tour for the teachers. Many of the Marshalltown teachers know what JBS does, but have never been inside JBS. So this is a great opportunity for them to get inside and see just how clean the facility is and how well run it is. We then head back to the Black Box Theater for lunch, and Jim Mosier from Mosier Angus Farms comes and talks to us about farming, raising cattle, and having working dogs, as well as the other animals he raises on the farm. Then we loaded back up on the bus and we went to the south side of the county. We visited Birchland Manufacturing. They do custom ag machinery, and then Runners Complete Ag, which they do seed corn, as well as they work with lots of different chemicals that go on the crops. So he talked to us about that. Lunch that day, just a note, was provided by the Iowa Cattlemen and Farm Bureau. It was a great lunch. So this is some pictures inside JBS. We of course can't take pictures on the floor, but this was right inside JBS as we were getting ready to go in. And some more pictures. Lots of teachers said thank you so much. It was an enjoyable experience. A lot of teachers were really nervous about going into JBS. And then after they went in, they just couldn't talk enough about how hard everyone was working and how clean and organized the plant was. So then our second set of days was June 27th and 28th. The first day focused on health services. We load the bus right away that day and head out to the Iowa Veterans Home. Commandant Jacobus talked to us there. He did our keynote. Then we got a really lengthy tour of the Iowa Veterans Home, and then they provide lunch for us there. After that, we went to Unity Point at the Veterans Home we have group members from Unity Point Hospice, Wolf Eye Clinic, McFarland Clinic, and Unity Point all came to talk to us about different careers in their area and in their clinics. We then got back on the bus. We went to McFarland Clinic, Unity Point, and then ended the day at Marshalltown Community College, where we got to visit the healthcare labs. So on these 2 days, we had 24 teachers from 5 different districts. So just some pictures and some quotes from that day. I like that one teacher said how they noticed that everything related to math. So it was a math teacher, and they just noticed how every job we talked about that day related to math. The second day of this session was Information Technology, Architecture, and Construction. We started the day off by visiting Raycom and had a great presentation there. After that, we went over to Mechdyne and toured their facilities. We then went to Alliant Energy and got to actually tour the energy plant. This day we went back to the high school because FEH Architects, CGA, and Larson Construction met us there. And we got to hear about their professions and then do a tour of the CTE project in the Tornado Safe Room. I liked that some of the teachers that come have a mindset that still are in the mindset that to be successful, people have to go to a 4-year university or get a 4-year degree. And a lot of the feedback that we got from teachers was that they were able to see some really prosperous careers that maybe don't take a non-traditional path and maybe don't take a 4-year degree or maybe do an internship or something like that. So that was really fun to see teachers just get a firsthand experience at that. The last 2 days we did here in August, we did the 12th and the 13th. The first day was hospitality, tourism, business, finance, and insurance. And we started the day, Dylan Does from the chamber came in and talked to us a little bit. We then toured Lily Mae, I'm going to say this wrong, Michoacana?
Yeah, Michoacana.
Michoacana. Dang it. Tannen, and then we got to go to the Tremont on Main and see the restaurant facilities as well as the hotel facilities up above. We then got to hear from Dylan again from the Chamber of Commerce, and then do a bus tour of all of the different art features around the community. We then went over to the Marshalltown Arts and Cultural Center? Yes, okay. And did a presentation there and met with the Community Foundation there. In the afternoon, we had Junior Achievement come and talk to us about incorporating business ideas into a classroom. We visited Farmers Savings Bank. We had State Farm Insurance come in and talk to us, and Edward D. Jones. So on this day, we had 50 teachers from 9 different districts, and I learned a valuable lesson on this day. I should have ended the day with hospitality and tourism, where they got to have lots of treats from all the different places, and started the day with business, finance, and insurance, because business, finance, and insurance seemed much more boring after we got to have a really fun morning. So I'm going to definitely flip-flop that for next year. So these are just some different teachers from the Montezuma School District. So this was the 3rd year in a row that group of teachers has come down to Marshalltown to learn about what we had to offer here. The second day was Government and Public Administration and Human Services. Sue Cahill came and kicked off this day. We then toured the police department and the fire department. We got to tour the courthouse and go up to the top there behind the clock. We then went out to Iowa Workforce Development and had a working lunch there. And then we got to go out to the drinking water treatment plant, which is a really cool facility as well. For the human services portion of the day, we came back to the Roundhouse and we did a human service fair, where our groups of teachers divided into smaller groups and then got to talk to all of the different services that you see there at the right and spend a little bit of time with each one. And there's some pictures from inside the drinking water treatment plant, as well as the courthouse and the fire department. I chose this picture for the very end because these 2 teachers recently moved to our community. First, Emily came and got a job here in Marshalltown, and she loved the community so much and the connections in the community so much that she convinced her husband to come to Marshalltown this year, and he's at the high school this year. And they've moved to the community and just really can't say enough good things about Marshalltown. So it was really fun to just be with them for those 2 days and watch them experience Marshalltown through a different lens. So, what questions do you have about the teacher externship?
Well, Jenny, I just want to commend you for doing an outstanding job to further enhance this program that you kind of inherited. And then the logistics are, as you know, crazy in terms of how you pull all this together. The first few years that we did it, so many of our own staff went through it. It was like, we got to figure something out. So that's when we approached the regional planning partnership about opening it up to the other schools, which is exactly what the regional planning partnership is about. So fortunately, they helped provide funding to help support the teacher pay for those days. So teachers get paid and they're able to get a license renewal credit for every 2 days that they participate. So in the early days, you used to be able to do as many sessions as you wanted if we were offered 2, 3, 4. But due to funding limitations with RPP, we just let them do one. I think,
Yeah, the last 2 years we capped out at 50 teachers and we capped out every session. So the RPP had budgeted some money and we tripled that with as many teachers that showed up. So this year we said that teachers could only do one session each year. So that's why the first 2 sessions were a little smaller because those have been offered longer. The last session we just started offering last year.
And essentially, it's open to any of the school districts that are under the Iowa Valley umbrella through that regional planning partnership. So I think as far as Iowa Falls to the north.
Montezuma to the south.
Montezuma to the south.
Yep.
Yeah.
South Tama and then West Marshall.
Remind me, and maybe you said it, how many years have we been doing this?
2017 was the first year.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there were a couple of COVID years in there that we weren't able to do it, but I think this was my 3rd year in doing this. So.
I don't have any questions, but I do want to tell you thank you. I know it's hard work, and even though I'm part of the committee, there's a lot of behind the scenes that you do that even us at the committee we don't do. So thank you for all your hard work and for also spending some of your summertime with us and preparing this.
Oh, you bet. You bet. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Charlie. You want to come up to the big table and introduce yourself?
Okay. Start?
Yeah.
Okay. So my name is Charles Gilbertson. You can call me Charlie. My parents are Bob and Christine Gilbertson. They're educators here in the district. I'm currently a senior at Marshalltown High School. I'm involved in cross country, swim and track. I'm also a part of National History Day, National Honor Society, STEP, Rotary, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Quiz Bowl, and Decision Point Bible Study. Outside of school, I'm also a part of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society at MCC. I lifeguard at the Y, and I'm also heavily involved in church activities in my youth group. For next year, post-secondary education is my goal at ISU, and with that, I plan to pursue a civil or mechanical engineering degree. So yeah, I guess any questions, I don't know.
Thank you.
Well, welcome aboard. We're glad you could make it.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
That's it?
That's it?
That's it for tonight. Randy, you want to do your depository resolution?
Yeah. So an annual item that we are required by law to do is to name our local depositories and the limits for the upcoming year. So there are no changes to the depository banks that we're using. We will continue to use First Interstate Bank. That's our main checking account that we write our checks out of. We also utilize the Iowa Schools Joint Investment Trust. So any excess funds that we get, we do turn around and invest those funds to maximize interest, which the most recent interest rate out of ICE was 5.044%. And then utilize UMB Bank. That bank is a flow-through bank that we utilize for our bonds that we have currently out there. The only change of note for this year is I did increase the limits. Traditionally, it's been 35 million per institution. I did increase it to 50 in the anticipation that there is a positive vote come November. Any questions for me?
Is there a motion to approve the depository resolution for the 24-25 school year as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Wall, Morales? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0.
Next item on the agenda is the annual list of lane changes for this year. Historically, we budget around $200,000 to $250,000 a year in lane change cost. This year, that total cost was $232,952, and we have 45 individuals moving over on the salary schedule this year. I don't know, Jackie, if there's anything you want to add or speak to that as far as the lane change movements. Jackie's office puts together getting all that information and then getting it over to me so that I can plug the numbers in and calculate that. But I don't know if anyone has any specific questions.
Does this happen already, or is this happening next school year?
This is for this 24-25 school year, so this will be this upcoming year's contracts.
So in the spring, they received a tentative contract based on the TS dollars that we knew of at that time. And so when the new state money came, which Randy's talked about before, then that's recalculated. Then the teachers have until, I believe it was the 10th of September, to submit all of their transcripts for their lanes change for the work that they've done over the past couple of years in their graduate programs. And then we, at the board, Mr. Kretzinger presented information about the special ed dilemma that we've had with the shortage of teachers in that area and the incentive that we were giving them for the larger caseloads that they would be managing this year because of that shortage. That's all reflected in this document. And thank you to Randy for his mastery work on spreadsheets.
So you said the special education is included in the spreadsheet?
Actually, no, I'm sorry, the special ed was a separate, that was approved at a prior board meeting. This is strictly just the lane movements that were,
Okay.
yeah, the special ed calculations have been done and that was prior approved
That was
already by the
approved
board.
prior,
Yes.
It's always good to see these increases for the employees.
There's definitely an incentive as a certified staff member to move quickly. I remember when I went into public education and made that change really fast, yes. I think we had one staff member get 45 credits in 1 year. That's a lot of work. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? And is there a motion to approve the 24-25 lane changes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Wall, Hernandez? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0. Policies.
Yeah, we have one policy coming back as a first reading tonight. It's 103R2, Early Childhood Progress Parental Notification. Shauna reviewed this and recommended amending it by deleting reporting out on phonemic awareness language to reflect our current practice. So I would recommend board approve this amendment and waive the second reading.
Any questions? Then is there a motion to amend 103R2 and waive the second reading?
So moved. Second.
Faltus Stanley, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0. Maria, you had initial review policies, right?
Yes. So the first one is 104, anti-bullying, anti-harassment policy. And that one, we're adding the apostrophe on superintendent, so that one can be marked as review. The second one is 104-3R1, I apologize. So 104-R1, anti-bullying and anti-harassment policy investigation procedure. So adding the link to the compliant form. So that one's first reading to amend. And then the last one is 104-R2, harassment student handbook provision. So adding an apostrophe on the S, and that one's marked as review.
Are there any questions for Maria? Okay. So 104R2 and 104 we marked as reviewed, correct?
Correct.
And 104R1 will come back for a first reading to amend.
To amend, yep.
Okay, thank you.
So we've got a few other policies for review. 502.10, use of motor vehicles. We had Mr. Bolivar review this, and we are making some changes that were recommended by IASB and based on recent legislation as it relates to student drivers, particularly with permits. So that will come back for a first reading. And then 603.01, basic instruction program. Shauna reviewed this, and we're recommending it be marked as reviewed, as we will continue to follow our existing graduation requirements. And then lastly, 700, purpose of non-instructional and business services. Randy reviewed this, and we made some adjustments, I believe, in the language to more accurately reflect the series of board policy that this is in.
Yeah, this was a recent IASB policy primer update, and it was adding the term financial services to that policy.
Any questions about those three policies? So 60301 we marked as reviewed. The other two will come back for a first reading to amend. Did I have that right?
Yes.
Okay. Abby, do you have anything for communications this evening? Okay. Must be saving up for something big.
I've heard about it.
Okay, reminders. Liz, you have policies for the next meeting, October 7th. Guess that's really, there's two reminders in here, aren't there? Ooh. The first one also notes when the school presentations will start. So Lenahan will kick off school presentations, not next meeting, but the second meeting in October. And there are some committee meetings coming up, so keep an eye on those. You should get reminders to attend those meetings.
Yeah, so we're running those proposed dates for the presentations by the principals and waiting to get some feedback, but we should have those finalized here shortly, and once we do, then Shauna will be working with Erica, Jennifer, and the principals to schedule curriculum board visits to the buildings in conjunction with those presentations.
If there's anything specific you want to see when we go into the buildings, just email me. I have that on my radar.
Okay. No committee reports. Any items for future meeting agendas? What have we done this evening to improve education for the students in Marshalltown?
Lots of field trips.
Lots of field trips.
Get to see education in a non-educational setting, so I think that's good to be able to make those connections. And same thing with the teacher externships, right? Being able to see how that plays out in your day-to-day life and different roles across the community is a good thing.
And I think it's always, I always like the meeting where we approve the lane changes, right? Where you can see how hard our teachers work outside of the classroom to, you know, enhance their education, to give our kids a better education. So that's always a nice, well, we have 45 teachers.
Yep.
So,
We welcomed our new student board.
Well, it's been just short of incredible to see how quickly that ag program has grown here in the last few years, and super excited to see as the year goes on how our state required student clubs associated with the other CT areas, FCS, business, industrial arts, all of those areas will have student organizations this coming year, so we'll definitely make plans to have them come share as those things start rolling.
well, come on up.
Missed out.
Good thing we didn't adjourn.
I found it. Just a quick note about Miller Middle School. Starting Wednesday this week, there will be weekly tours through Election Day, both at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. The 10 a.m. ones, you'll need a photo ID just for the new safety and security system that's in there. So you show your photo ID to it, and from there, the co-principals, Dave Glenn and Kristen Kell, will walk interested community members through the facility, just seeing it for themselves before Election Day. So
You said that's weekly. Is there a
On
specific day?
Wednesdays.
on Wednesdays.
Okay.
How are they sharing that? I mean, how are we letting people know that those tours are available?
Yeah, so I've worked on some social media, pushing it out. And then along with that, last week there was a press release that went out to our local media partners to notify and then put into their, either on the radio or into the newspaper itself to kind of spread the word, so. And last I saw, there was 10, 12 shares on the first posting of it. I don't know about today's, but weekly, just going forward, making sure people know until Election Day, this is your opportunity to see the facility. Or you can watch it as well through Jeff Braddock's tour video as well, so.
Thanks, Abby.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Fault is wise. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. My daughters will enjoy. Yeah. I think them tomorrow. That's why earlier I said can't wait for tomorrow.